it's Sammy the Seahawk. Today, Sammy is going to show you how convenient it is to get your COVID-19 vaccine at the Student Wellness and Counseling Center, located on the 5th floor of the UC on the St. John's campus. Vaccinations are by appointment only. You can call 709-864-8500 to book your appointment. Please note that face masks are mandatory in all on-campus health facilities, including the Student Wellness and Counseling Center. When you arrive at the SWCC, you must first check in at the front desk and inform them of your appointment. The clinic is offering free vaccinations to all Memorial students, faculty, staff, retirees, and their families. You can get your first or your second dose at the SWCC. Our healthcare team will get you vaccinated and quickly on your way. Don't forget to bring your MCP or health card with you to your appointment and wear a short sleeve shirt. If you're booking your second dose, have the date of your first dose handy when you call to book, and be sure to book an appointment that is at least 28 days after your first dose. And just like that, you're helping protect yourself and others from COVID-19. Looking good, Sammy. Be sure to follow us on social for more sneak peeks with Sammy.
Hello, students. Thank you for joining us on our first Facebook Live. Can everybody hear me? Thumbs up? Perfect. I want to begin by acknowledging, I want to begin by introducing myself. I'm Vianne Timmons, your university president. And then we need to and should always acknowledge that the lands on which Memorial University's campuses are situated are in the traditional territories of diverse Indigenous groups, and we acknowledge with respect the histories and cultures of the Beothuk, the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of this beautiful province. For those of you who I haven't had the opportunity to meet, I hope I get to meet you soon, and with COVID, that's been a lot. I became Memorial's University, first woman university president last April. So I've been in the job over a year, but today it really kind of felt like the first day in the job because I got to meet a group of students. Sammy the Seahawk did a great job of explaining how to get vaccinated on the St. John's campus. Two important things to note. There will be vaccine clinics in the University Center for the next 5 Wednesdays starting tomorrow. And you don't need an appointment, just drop by between 12 and 6. And if you don't have an MCP card, that is absolutely okay. Come to the clinic and you will get vaccinated. You know, I have to say, I can't wait to welcome you all to the campus. It's been a tough year and a half. You have faced so many challenges as students. And most students who started Memorial last year never set a foot on campus and had to learn the ropes virtually. I did also, as I started during the first shutdown. But hopefully that's all changing. We are slowly getting back to normal, but this semester is definitely a transition year. It's a transition from being fully remote to mostly back on campus. And hopefully by January, we'll be 100% back on campus. Well, today is all about you. So feel free to ask anything you want, tell us your concerns, or just let us know what you're excited about. We've been working hard this summer to make sure this semester is the best it can be. And I encourage all of you to take advantage of everything available to you. We've got a number of people lined up who are ready to answer any questions. But first, I want to introduce our new Provost and Vice President Academic, Dr. Florentine Jessugen. She began over 2 weeks ago. She comes to us from University of Calgary, where she served as Vice Dean, Faculty of Arts, and Deputy Provost. She's a scholar of German and European literature, culture, and film. And when she's not working, she's camping, hiking, biking, swimming across Salmon Cove, if you can believe that, kayaking, and she's so excited to be in this beautiful province of ours. I want to ask Florentine to say a few words. So Florentine, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Vianne, for introducing me. I'm delighted to be here today. It's my 3rd week as the new provost on the job. And I just moved to Memorial also 3 weeks ago. This is a gorgeous place, and Memorial to me is a very special university, and its importance for the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. I'm so happy that we are going to be able to welcome all of you, many of you, back to campus again after 18 months of, you know, fairly deserted campuses across Canada, I would say. So to me, the best day of the year is the day students arrive on campus. I love the hustle and bustle on campus, the hallways, the buildings populated with students, the green spaces, people having lunch. We have vendors opening right now on campus. We have all those Ask Me booths coming up. If you see people in red t-shirts, then you know those are the people you can go to ask questions. Those are our volunteers. You know, and we have personalized tours happening, and the new semester is just days away. So you're wondering, what does a provost actually do and how can the provost help students? And I want you to know that one of my most important jobs as a provost is about students. How do we teach? How do we learn? What new programs can we offer that are relevant and meaningful for you? How can we connect you with opportunities inside and outside of the classroom? How can we support your well-being, academic success, and financial security? A number of people are here today to answer your questions, and they are members of the fairly large provost team that is dedicated to students and student success, and they are excited to meet you and answer your questions. Please know that everyone here at the university who works here wants you to succeed and wants to support you. And our purpose today is to help you to ease concerns, address apprehensions about the big transition back to in-person learning and to coming back to campus. So again, welcome. We are here to support you, and I look forward to meeting as many of you as possible in person in just a few days. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Strelchek. My name is Megan Whalen. I work in the Division of Marketing and Communications, and I'm going to be moderating the Q&A session. But before I do that, we do have a lot of people who are here with us today who are ready to answer your questions. So I'm going to call on each panelist one by one to introduce themselves and share one quick thing that they really want students to know going into this semester. So let's get started with Greg McDougall.
Hi, everyone. I'm Greg McDougall. I'm the Chief Risk Officer for Memorial University. We are very excited to be welcoming you back to the campus. As the provost was saying, we do miss the hustle and bustle of a vibrant campus. We understand the importance of the student experience, and we are excited to work with you to ensure a safe environment. And if you see me in the hallway, please say hi. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Thank you. Donna Hardy-Cox.
Good afternoon. I'm Donna Hardy-Cox, Associate Vice President responsible for students. And it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon to spend some time with you and to be with this team of people who've been working tirelessly, not only to create a safe campus, but also to have fun and to get a good start to our year together. It's so exciting to see the students on campus, some of them walking their timetables and some of them checking out how to get a cup of coffee on campus. The one thing I would encourage you to do, it's already been suggested, is to look for these signs. Ask lots of questions. Lots of people have got answers, and you'll see lots of people with these lovely t-shirts that the provost mentioned coming around campus. So look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. Sonia, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. One thing that I'd like you all to remember through this semester and through your whole academic career is that internationalization is for everyone. We didn't stop with COVID. We still have lots of international experiences for all students to be able to enjoy either virtually or in person. And before too long, we'll be able to also start sending students abroad again. So we can't wait for that. But don't forget that. Those are amazing experiences for you. And we do have new financial support as well to be able to help all of you with going abroad. We also help all the international students as they learn to settle in and adjust to the campus here and to the province. So look forward to meeting you. And we're located over in Burton's Pond Apartments area. So hopefully you'll be able to drop in sometime.
Thank you. Jennifer Brown, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you. So my name is Jennifer Brown, and I'm the Director of Student Life. We cannot wait for next week. We cannot wait to welcome you. It's everyone, the whole staff in Student Life. You can feel the excitement just brimming, and we have a number of students who've been working with us over the last number of months to plan the very best welcome you can possibly have for coming back here. I just want you all to know that we have a great mix of in-person and online virtual events that will be happening throughout the month of September. And you can see the full schedule if you just take a look at the Student Life website at Memorial. The big banner, just click on that and it will give you all of the different things that are planned. I would encourage all first-year students to complete MUN 101. It's a fantastic resource and probably the first place to go if you have questions. And there's still time to complete that. And I think it'll really help with your transition to Memorial next week. And I also want to encourage all first and second year students to drop by the University Center, room 3005, because we have a welcome gift for you and we would love for you to drop by to pick it up. And finally, just follow us on social media. It was shared in the video. Everything that's happening will be shared on the social media channels, and it's a great way to stay in touch as well.
Thank you. Next up, Shona and Larry.
I'm Larry Bauer. I'm the Deputy Registrar responsible for operations and regulation. So that side of the Registrar's office. And Shona?
And I'm Shona Perry-Maidment, and I'm responsible for things related to how students choose and come to Memorial. So anything from the recruitment side to your application to getting advice from advisors and so on. So we're really excited. We're on the second floor for the most part. The registrar's office is on the second floor of the arts building. But one piece of advice we'd love to give you is make sure you get on the right track with your academics. And how do you do that? Through lots of research on your own, which you've already done, but also meet with your academic advisor. They can provide lots of good tidbits of what you need to do, what courses are applicable to you, and they can even help you with appropriate dates that you need to keep in mind and so on. One last thing regarding dates, keep in mind the university diary, mun.ca. Look, find the diary. It'll help you with all the significant dates that you need to be aware of.
Thank you. Gavin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Megan. Hello, everybody. My name is Gavin Watson. My pronouns are he, him. I'm the director of the Center for Innovation for Teaching and Learning, and also the Associate Vice President Teaching and Learning here at Memorial. As I was asked to reflect on my advice for this coming year, I just want to emphasize the significance of building relationships and seeking mentors while you're a student here at Memorial. That can happen lots of different ways. You can talk to your advisors about bigger goals than just routine transactional matters, but I really want to focus on academic relationships and encourage you to use the time that faculty have already put aside, faculty and instructors have put aside for you. That's office hours for you to connect with them, talk to them about their academic interests. If you've got a faculty member that shares a research interest with you or an academic interest with you, approach them. Talk to them about joining a research team, see about volunteering. These kinds of connections, not only with faculty, but students in your courses, will help ensure that you have a successful month, year, and in fact, career ahead of you. So make those connections. Thanks, Megan.
Thank you. Bruce, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. I'm Bruce Belvin. I'm the Director of Student Residences here in St. John's, and I am thrilled to be able to say I'm looking forward to seeing you all show up here starting Saturday. Currently, there's about 200 of you who are on campus, which is great because empty halls don't make for any fun at all. So we're looking forward to everybody showing up. The one tip I will say to you is get involved. You have to get involved when you're living in residence. There are over 2,500 of you living in residence across our campuses. And bring your talent, bring your skills, bring your interests, and plug in, and we're going to have a great year. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Ken, you're up next.
I think I'm last. Hi, everyone. I'm Ken Fowler from the Student Wellness and Counseling Center. I'm the director here. And our work here, we provide mental health support and physician services to all students. And for the last year, we've been doing a lot of this work, for most of it virtually. So Well, our plan is to continue that way as well, because we know that there are a number of individuals out there that can only access virtually. So we've gotten really good at it, and we invite all kinds of interactions. So please reach out to us. So the virtual thing is something we're going to continue because we're concerned about, too much crowding in our space in terms of the waiting room. So that's something we're going to put forward. And we're also putting out the vaccine clinics, as you heard. So we'll be running those every Wednesday for the next few weeks. And we can also do appointments here as well. So thank you.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have Angie Clark. Angie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much, Megan. My name is Angie Clark. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm representing the Marine Institute this afternoon. Like my colleagues, we are absolutely delighted that we are able to welcome everyone back to campus this September. And independent, if you're an incoming first-year student or a returning student, we know that people are starting off in different ways. So if you go to our campus-specific website, we have built the startup site, which should answer the majority of your questions, but we do encourage you, and my piece of advice would be don't be afraid to ask more questions. If we haven't included something, or if you're a little bit lost, I can tell you the folks on our campus and across Memorial are just eager to answer your questions and ensure you're in the right spot in the places that you need to be. So without further ado, I'll turn it back to Megan.
Thank you, and that is a perfect segue because now we are starting with the question and answers. So if you're watching us on Facebook Live and you have a question, feel free to pop it into the field there. No question is too big or too small. We are all here ready to answer those for you. Some questions were submitted in advance via email, so I will read those out to our panelists. But before I do that, I want to just set a few ground rules because I want to make sure that everyone understands that this is really meant to be a respectful and productive session. We know that there are strong feelings associated with returning to campus, vaccine and mask mandates, and that's okay because we're here to talk about those topics, but we will not be able to respond to any hateful or uncivil comments or anything that uses derogatory language. So please keep that in mind as we are working through this event. I also want to say that the panelists can't answer any questions about ongoing disciplinary issues or anything that might infringe on privacy. But other than that, please let the questions come in. We really do want to hear from you and answer any questions that you have. So our first question, I'm going to ask Greg to answer for us, and this is related to the vaccine mandate. This person is wondering, when will information about the vaccine medical exemptions be released, and what kind of reasons will be considered as valid to be granted an exemption?
Thanks, Megan. Information on the exemption requirements will be released tomorrow, as well as the form for how to complete the vaccine requirements. Basically, exemptions will be granted for human rights reasons, which could be medical or religious, but we've got that managed. As part of the message tomorrow, there will be providing contact information for who you can reach out to and ask specific questions. We will work with every student, and we will ensure every student is treated fairly throughout this process. The types of things that would be granted medical accommodations would be around allergies to vaccines. There are some individuals who unfortunately cannot be vaccinated, and we understand that, and we will work with everyone around that.
Thank you. Next question for Gavin. Does the vaccine mandate apply to students enrolled in distance or online courses only, with no requirements to visit any campus for exams or labs?
Yeah, it's a great question. The answer to that is that students who will not be physically present on Memorial's campuses or other locations at any time during the semester are not required to be vaccinated, but they still need to complete the vaccine declaration form that Greg mentioned is going to be released tomorrow, and they'll need to indicate that. I do want to flag, though, that anybody coming to one of Memorial's campuses or locations for any reason has to be vaccinated and submit proof via the declaration. And that is relevant for online courses because for some students who are close to St. John's or Grenfell, they could be invited to our campus to complete a final exam, and they would need to ensure that they've completed that vaccine declaration form. Hope that answers that question.
Thank you. Next question is for Ken Fowler. It comes from a student who plans on getting the vaccine but has severe anxiety. They wrote to say that although I have no issue and plan to get the vaccine myself, I have severe anxiety when it comes to vaccines. Because of this, I have yet to receive either of my doses. I read that there are some exemptions for vaccines, and although I feel like this wouldn't be a reason to qualify for an actual exemption, and that's not exactly what I'm expecting, I'm just wondering if there could be anything I could do to have a bit more of a longer timeline to get it. As I said, I have full intentions of getting it, but every time I've tried, I've been too scared to do it. If I'm unable to get my first dose by September 7th, would my only option be to withdraw from classes?
That's an incredibly important question raised. My recommendation, anyone in that situation where there's concern about the vaccine or any kind of fear around it, connect with us directly so we can talk with you personally and discuss any issues you might have and discuss a plan for you to be successful, engaging in our programs and being a student here. So I would highly recommend that you reach out to the Wellness Center through our counseling portal or through our front desk, through our website, and set up a meeting so we can chat about that. We'd love to provide support in your circumstance.
Perfect. Greg, did you want to answer the second part of that question where they asked if they didn't have their first dose by September 7th, would they have to withdraw from their classes?
We don't want any student to withdraw from their classes. We will work with you on finding what the solution could be in terms of an exemption or an accommodation process. We're hoping all students who can get vaccinated do get vaccinated, but there are options for that. And ultimately, to be on campus, we are hoping everyone is vaccinated unless they have a good reason.
Thank you. Jennifer, the next question is for you. Will students be able to access the quiet rooms and other study areas of the library beyond the cubicles that are currently set up on the main floor?
Yes, so the short answer is yes. So as of September the 7th, the library will be operating as normal with all branches open to students, faculty, and staff and members of the public. Masks are mandatory in all branches, and booking an individual study space will no longer be required as of September 7th. You can check on the hours and other information about the library by visiting their website. But again, just keep in mind that the expectation is that people coming on campus are vaccinated.
Another question we have related to vaccines, I'm going to direct this one to Ken. This student writes to say that I've taken the Sputnik 5 vaccine and I'm not sure if I'm considered fully vaccinated or not, as the vaccine as of now is not recognized by WHO or Health Canada. Some news reports say that by September it will be approved by the World Health Organization. If it's not, what should I do? As per the news, those vaccinated with Sputnik can take a booster shot of Pfizer after 6 months. However, I took my second dose back on the 4th of May and hence will have to wait until the 4th of November to receive that booster.
Another excellent question. There's a number of students in the same boat where the vaccines that they've availed of may not be approved by Health Canada or the WHO. So we just this morning, we've reached out again to our medical officer, Health Janice Fitzgerald. She responded back. There's actually going to be a policy released very soon about addressing that concern of different types of vaccines that have been availed of. So contact us directly if you do have concerns about that or specific questions, and we'll respond with a firm response in terms of what the next steps in terms of vaccines.
Great. Next question for Bruce. Will students be able to rent lockers? I checked at the bookstore yesterday and they were uncertain. If there are no lockers for rent, where can students place their belongings while in a lab, for instance?
Yeah. So lockers will be available starting September 13th, and they're available through the bookstore, which is located in the University Center on the 2nd floor here in St. John's. And while you're there, take the time to browse the racks, look at the inventory, buy a sweatshirt, whatever you want to do. It's delayed a couple of days in order to facilitate book arrivals and those sorts of things. The lab question is a great one because in the new core science building, there are lab lockers. So you can go to your lab, there will be lockers available. The details of that will be worked out as the semester opens up, but there shouldn't be any problem. You have a place to put your belongings as you pursue your labs in particular.
Great, thank you. Next question is for Greg. This person wrote to say that Israel, the most vaccinated country on earth, is seeing its highest daily case count since the beginning of the pandemic. Given that the vaccine doesn't actually prevent outbreaks, as demonstrated with Israel, what was the underlying logic behind mandating vaccination to attend university?
Thank you for that, Megan. The underlying logic is still following the best available medical advice and public health information that we have. We know that these vaccines are safe. We know that they are incredibly efficient in what they do. They work in conjunction with the other health and safety controls that we have in place. That's why you'll see some of the items like the mask mandate and encouragement of physical distancing. As we're seeing with the stats for those who are vaccinated, this is actually becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Those who aren't vaccinated are getting sicker, they're spreading more, and they're more likely to end up in hospital. We just need to look at the statistics around the Delta variant. So we feel that this policy is in place to protect you and enable a more fulsome student experience.
Thank you. Next question is for Larry. This person is wondering when they start their classes, they're doing them all online and they're not sure where they have to go to get into the classes. They've already registered for them. Wondering about websites or links that might be helpful.
Sure. All the online classes take place through Brightspace, which is our learning management system. And you can access that in a couple of different ways. You can go to the main MUN website, mun.ca, and in the upper right corner beside the search bar, there's a little black box that says login. If you click on that, the second item down is online learning. That will take you directly to the Brightspace page where you can log in. Or alternately, if you'd like, you can simply go to online.mun.ca and that will take you there directly. And incidentally, that's also where you complete MUN 101, which is a great way to become more accustomed to the university.
Thank you. Next question is for Sonia. Will international students be provided with entrance scholarships?
Yes, international students do receive entrance scholarships. They receive them generally when they get their admissions letter from Shona, who's sitting there. Shona can probably explain the process a bit better if there's more detail required.
Sure. For this fall, most, if not all, of the entrance scholarships for international students have been allocated. Having said that, if we are in situations where a student has decided not to attend Memorial and there may be some funding left over, we'd still continue to assess if there's any funds available. So you never know, but keep in mind as students move beyond first year, there are other scholarships that may be available to students based on your academic program or some specifics about your own background and so on. So there's lots of opportunities for scholarships, but entrance scholarships, most of them have been allocated at this point for this upcoming academic year.
Thank you. The next question, I believe, is for Ken. Someone has received the Indian vaccine and they're wondering if it is acceptable or not.
As I mentioned in the previous response, any vaccine that may fall outside Health Canada or WHO recommendations or acceptability is going to be, the province is creating a policy on that as we speak. So again, if people are concerned about the authorization of the vaccines that they've availed of, contact us directly and we'll be able to advise on that, whether to follow up with another vaccine.
Thank you. Next question is for Sonia. This person wants to learn English at the university's Language Institute, and can you help?
Yes, they can write international@mun.ca with that question. That's probably the best because we'll have to look at case by case. There's no sort of generic answer to that. International@mun.ca and just say I'm looking to study English at Memorial.
Thank you. Next question is about access to the library, so I'll give that one to Jennifer Brown. The question is, will we be able to freely access the library at any time without booking appointments?
Yes, yep. As of September 7th, the library will be open as normal as it was pre-pandemic. Just wear your masks and follow the guidelines. And for hours and things like that, just check the library's webpage.
Thank you. Next two questions are related to vaccines. So I'll start with Greg, but certainly Ken, or if anyone else needs to hop in, feel free to do so. What does it mean to be fully vaccinated?
Fully vaccinated means 15 days after the second shot, if I understand, or 2 weeks after it. In terms of what our program is, it's the dates that you've received the shots by, but under Health Canada's advice, you are not fully vaccinated to 14 or 15 days after the second dose. I think I'm right on that one, Ken, right?
Yes, that is correct. That's why we've brought in the mask mandate, and we've brought in the distancing and the caution that everyone attending campus are going to have to be vigilant.
And what if someone can't be vaccinated? What should they do?
I'm happy to answer that one, Megan. So if somebody cannot be vaccinated, please complete the form that will be live tomorrow, and we'll follow up with you from that as to what the next steps would be. But you're certainly welcome to be on campus, and we will look forward to having you here.
And Greg, are the Munnels going to be open on the St. John's campus?
Yes, the Munnels are going to be open. There will be signs directing traffic flow as to what the entrances and exits are, but the Munnels are open so you can travel around in our finicky weather that we sometimes get.
Excellent, thank you. And I'm also going to ask you, Greg, if we can only use medical, surgical, or N95 masks, or can we use reusable or cloth masks?
We actually encourage reusable or cloth masks. New students, I believe, will be getting some in their orientation kit. They're better for the environment, and they are seen as effective as long as you're cleaning them and maintaining them. Basically, we just want you wearing the appropriate masks on campus.
And related to that, are we able to remove our masks during the lecture if spacing allows us?
That is a very tough one, and unfortunately, the answer is no. We need to ensure a safe environment, and so masks are required when seated in lecture halls. We do know that there are some activities that require not having masks on, and we've been working with your instructors and your programs to ensure that we can accommodate these goals if necessary. But for the most part, masks are required.
Thank you. Sonia, the next question is for you. What will happen if a student is not able to arrive at campus because of some visa delay? Can they receive online classes?
The answer to that, that's a great question. I mean, that is one of the most difficult questions that we're working with now with international students, is those that don't have their visas in time. So Shauna mentioned the Academic Advising Office. They would be able to help students identify which courses within their faculty are going to be delivered online. So that, because Memorial does always have a very robust online program even before the pandemic. So it is possible that you might be able to start your courses remotely, or from your country, but do write to us and let us know that you're having a challenge with your visa. It's really important for us to know, and so you can write us at international@mun.ca, and then we'll be able to sort of give you more specific advice, find out which country you're writing from, and what might, what we think and what our experience is around timing for your visa. So for example, is it possible that it might come through in the middle of September and you might still be able to join? And so it's really a great idea for you to contact us and for us to be able to have a conversation with you.
Thank you. Next question is for Jennifer. Will we be having normal campus activities starting in September 2021? And second part of that question is, can we meet our professors on campus?
So yes, the intention is certainly to have a variety of on-campus events and opportunities for students to come together. They will be following the safety guidelines that are in place for the institution, but that is not going to impede on having those activities. And we may have multiple of the same activity so that students don't miss out. And we can't wait to have those actually. So yes, every intention is that we are back and able to come together on campus safely. And as for meeting with your professors, I bet there's lots of professors who can't wait to meet with you and would be delighted if they saw you or you reached out to them to meet. And again, how you would do that, we would work out with your professor, but if they are on campus and there's a space that they can meet with you in, I'm sure they will. And if anyone else has anything to add to that piece, by all means, jump in.
Thank you. The next question I'm going to give to Larry and Shona. This person is asking when they can expect to get admission to study in January. They're asking specifically about a master's program.
All admissions for graduate programs are done through the School of Graduate Studies. So if you reached out to sgs@mun.ca, they can tell you when you should expect to hear about admission for the winter/January semester. So that should be able to help you out there. What was the second part of the question? Sorry, I didn't.
The second part of the question, I'm actually going to ask Greg. This person is also wondering if it's compulsory for all international students to get vaccinated.
If you're going to be on the Memorial campuses, you're required to go through the vaccination process or get an approved exemption.
And Sonia, what is the best email that someone could write to about student visa delays?
They can write international@mun.ca, or they can write immigrationadvising@mun.ca. Either way, it'll be triaged to the right people.
Thank you. This person is wondering that if they're sitting at a table in the library with two of their friends who are in their bubble, do they have to continue to wear their masks? Greg, did you want to answer that?
Unless you're eating and drinking, masks are required at all points in time in public places.
Next question I'm going to ask to Sonia and Larry again. What grades are required in 12th grade for international students to apply to Memorial for mechanical engineering?
Hi there. Typically for engineering, we expect to see high grades. What we would consider high grades would be those in the A levels, or sorry, at the A grades. So if you're doing A level courses, for example, we're going to even want to see A's in those grades. But across the board, typically, we're looking for really strong students in math and sciences. So we're going to be looking at grades of A's, 65 and up to be competitive, because it is a highly competitive program, and we want you to be successful.
Next question is for Donna. To whom can a student write if they're having issues?
That's a good question, because there's so many places. It depends on the issue, really. But a great place to start is the Student Support Office. And I don't have the email right off the top of my head. Maybe Jennifer can help me with the email, but that's certainly a great gateway place if you have questions. And of course, you can always email my office as well, and we'll do everything we can to find the right direction and answers to your concerns.
Yeah, I can just add to that. It's studentsupport@mun.ca, or any question about anything, whether issue or just a question that might pop up, you can email anytime, ask@mun.ca. That's kind of a one-stop shop for all questions, and then it will we'll get back to you and share with you where you can get some help.
Thank you. Next question for Sonia. We're still waiting on our student visa to be approved, but we are registered for fall classes. Is there any flexibility for 100% refund on tuition if the student visa is declined after the September 22nd drop date?
At this point, no, we haven't had any discussions around that. I would suggest that you write to us at international@mun.ca. We can find out when you applied, and we can check with IRCC around what stage that they're at in terms of processing, and kind of give you a sense of whether your study visa will be approved in time. But at this point, if you don't have your study visa, you're probably going to want to talk to us about deferral, and talk to Shona about deferral. So again, write us at international@mun.ca. We can kind of look into your case a little bit and then give you the advice that we think will work out best for you.
Thank you. Will there be hiring for on-campus jobs for international students this fall, and who should be contacted for that? Sonia or Jennifer, would you like to answer that question?
Absolutely. Yes, we are so excited to have you back on campus working again. And we will be posting literally hundreds of jobs. And they will be for all the students, international students included. You can look for those. They'll be posted the first full week of classes. And you can visit Student Life to see the information on that. They'll be listed on our Career Center website. And apply for as many as you want to. And it's going to be a great experience. And we do do have another actually program called ISWAP, which is specifically for hiring international students on campus. And so you'll see both of those programs and other opportunities to work on campus on the website.
Thank you. And just a reminder to the students who are watching, if you have questions, we have just a little over 10-15 minutes left. So if you have questions, please get them in so that we have time to answer them for you. The next person who wrote to say, I'm flying back to Newfoundland. I can't find a place to quarantine in, and I've been told that I can't quarantine in my place because we only have one bathroom. Please help me as I need to book a flight ASAP. Greg, are you able to answer that question?
The answer to that question is going to be, it depends. Are you coming from within Canada? Are you an international student? We do have some resources that are available to support you, or we can potentially provide guidance, but this seems to be a very one-off and specific question. So I'm going to encourage you to email me at cro@mun.ca, and I will try and find you the answer to the best of my ability.
Thank you very much. If I see someone not wearing a mask, can I ask them to put one on? Greg again.
Everybody has a shared responsibility for safety. First and foremost, as we're entering month 18 of this pandemic, we have to be kind to everyone out there. And you don't want to automatically assume that somebody is just violating the rules. There's a lot of reasons to have exemptions for wearing masks, and we're handling that. You can't really ask too much about why you're not wearing a mask. But, you know, there are times where you say, hey, maybe you're not wearing a mask because they've got it around their neck or something like that. And it is a shared responsibility. But my only advice to you in that is be kind. And if the situation gets hostile, walk away. We wear masks and stuff for our own protection and to protect others. So there's some redundancy in that. It's just not worth the conflict involved with that. And over 18 months, we've had very few issues with masks when they were mandated.
And Greg, I don't know if you have a crystal ball, but can you tell us if we have to wear masks in the winter semester?
My crystal ball on that one says, I really hope we don't have to, but we base all of our advice on what's happening in current epidemiology. So I think I'm in the same thought process as the individual asking this question. If I have to wear a mask in January, I'm going to be very disappointed, but I also will understand if I have to.
Thank you. And are people allowed to eat and drink anywhere on campus or only in the university center? Greg, I'm going to ask you to answer that one too.
We certainly prefer it in the university center, but we do know that individuals will be bringing coffee into some classes. They'll be maybe sitting at some of our study areas in the library. I think each different site has specific rules for what that is, but basically, yeah, we're all adults. We can kind of manage ourselves. We have that shared responsibility for safety.
Bruce, is there anything you'd like to add from a student housing dining perspective?
Yeah, the dining facilities on campus will be mask mandated at all times when entering and leaving the building, but it's a controlled environment and there are limits of number of people in the facility and so on and so forth. So we're pretty confident that will work. And keep in mind, of course, residents are in their own unique bubbles, so they will be eating together, traveling through the building together. And we're quite confident that we've got enough controls in place to ensure security, safety, but also enjoyment of the meal experience.
Thank you. And Angie, was there anything that you wanted to add about the Marine Institute when it comes to eating and drinking and the mask requirement?
Similar health and safety requirements. You have to stay masked through the cafeteria line and throughout the building here on Ridge Road until you are seated. So in the cafeteria, in our student lounge, or in some of the other areas, and obviously then you can remove your mask and eat.
Thank you. And this question is a little bit redundant because we were talking about a mask mandate across campus, but just to be really explicit, do we have to wear masks in the library, Greg?
Yes, we do. Any public spaces, unless you're eating and drinking, and then when you're not eating and drinking, you put it back on.
And will the university be giving us masks every day?
First year students will be given some as part of their orientation and welcome package. We do expect that after 18 months in this pandemic, individuals have their own masks that are more comfortable, preferably the reusable ones. It's just better for the environment. But if your ear loop breaks, if you need to get some, there are locations on campus where they are available, and we will work with you on that. So yes, we will be providing masks when they're needed.
Ken, if somebody can't be vaccinated, who should they talk to?
Well, the declaration process will identify those that cannot be vaccinated, and they will be contacted in order to work out supports, and keep people safe. So the process for that will be forthcoming. Hopefully that's okay, that response is okay. I just wanted to add another question. People were wondering about wearing masks in the winter semester. In our assessment of other universities and the way that they're planning the semesters, the fall semesters, they have what's called a grace period. And I think that's what we're in now, is a grace period for people to come to campus and determine the routine of things. And we should know within the first semester how everything is working. We have to sort of acclimatize to the regulations and the routine. So we're going to find out an awful lot in the first couple of weeks of class for sure.
Thanks very much. This person says that, or they ask if they are uncomfortable in their mask and they take it off for just a few minutes, noting that it is hard to wear masks all day. Greg, did you want to chime in on that one?
That's a tough one. I think every one of us has removed their masks because they've been uncomfortable at some point in time. You've just got to determine when it's appropriate to do so. When you're sitting next to people, probably not the best of ideas, but if you can maintain that distance, you're walking somewhere and you just need to scratch your nose, that's probably okay. Nobody is going to be, watching every minute of what you do, or we certainly hope not. But there are expectations around, there is a mask requirement.
Donna, a person wrote in to say that they need a place to stay. They don't have an apartment yet, and they're wondering if the university can help with that.
Yeah, we're certainly hearing that the housing is at a premium. I know both Bruce and Sonia are working on this in particular, so Megan, perhaps they can provide some detailed information.
Bruce, do you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. So yes, demand is extremely high. It's unprecedented, really. We are literally full to the rafters, and we've got people lined up outside and calling us, pleading for a place to live. With that in mind, we've gone to our network in the private sector to see what we can find out in terms of availability, but the problem is that the market is pretty much saturated. There's nothing in close proximity that would be included in the realm of suitable accommodation. And I would caution students to be extra careful when entering agreements to live with landlords in apartments or houses that could be considered substandard. So very cautious approach. There is limited availability. We have a wait list and we'll rotate through that and we'll get to people who we can as fast as we can. But as Sonia can attest, the demand is high and we are limited by what we can do. And that's outside of our own isolation process, the facilities we're using, the hotels and so on and so forth. So it's a hard spot to be in, but we're doing our best.
Thank
and
you.
From the international student side, the same thing. We're hearing from international students that they're in self-isolation right now, and they still don't have a permanent place to live. And so we are working to try to, same as Bruce, working with him and his team and going out to the private sector and seeing what we might be able to make work, as well as contacting the Memorial community and reminding people if they do have a space for rent to please let us know. We have a listing on our website where people can post if they do have a listing and would like to have an international student stay with them. So we are hoping to be able to drum up some more availability, but it is a really challenging year, absolutely. And we know that it's really stressful. You do need a roof over your head. So again, if you're an international student facing that issue, please do write to us and let us know, because we can keep you on our radar and find out how urgent it is. If you have a week left in self-isolation, we know you need a place. So please do stay in touch with us.
And what email address should they use, Sonia?
international@mun.ca. Same email for any query, and it gets triaged to the right people.
Ken, someone has written to say that they need someone to talk to. They're concerned about the start of the university year, and they're wondering if they can get a counselor through the university.
Of course they can, yes. If you actually go to our website, and if you just Google SWCC MUN, you'll go right to our website, and there's a tab that you hit, Request Counseling, and you hit the tab, put in your contact information and submit it, and we'll connect with you and make an appointment for services support.
Thank you. Greg, can you tell us if masks need to be worn outside on campus?
No, that goes back to the question as well about if I need to remove it. Take an opportunity between classes to explore our outside spaces. Masks are not mandatory outside, and we've made efforts over this summer to make our outside areas more conducive for gatherings and even outside studying. So that's a great opportunity that if you just need to take that mask off, go outside and do it. Airborne transmission outside is very low with COVID-19.
Thank you. This question is for Bruce. It's related to residents. I am fully vaccinated and I've received an exemption. However, I booked self-isolation at Signal Hill anyway because I'm underage and I can't stay at a hotel because check-in is 18+. I was wondering if I can stop self-isolating before the 14 days are up in order to move into residence. Please keep in mind that I am exempt.
If he contacts housing@mun.ca, we can facilitate that, I think. If the exemption is documented, we're okay. We can move them in as soon as possible.
Great, thank you. We have just a few minutes left, and that's the end of the questions. So I wonder if our provost, Dr. Strelchek, and then Dr. Timmons would like to have any final remarks. So Dr. Strelchek, would you like to speak to students again?
Yes, I want to pick up where I left when I talked to you first today. And I just wanted to say, as you heard from everyone online today, everybody at the university is working to help you, to support you, and we all want you to succeed. Especially if you're coming from high school, I think there is sometimes, and also for any student, there's always that hurdle to approach people for help. And I think we are all working. You heard the answers to all your questions. We are all working we are excited to welcoming you back, and we are working towards helping you. We want you to rise and shine and to be successful in whatever you want to accomplish at the university. University can be a frightening space sometimes, lots of people coming together. I think succeeding academically is important, but it's equally important to reach out and make friends. Sometimes those are friends for your life that you're going to make at the university, and enjoy the time that you have here. Yeah, talk to all those people who introduce themselves if you need help. It's normal to want help. This is a big place, and helping you navigate that place is important to us. Looking forward to meeting you all. Thank you.
Dr. Timmons, did you have any concluding remarks?
I do. So first of all, what brilliant questions from all of you. You've already started on the right foot with asking questions and brilliant questions. And see all the people you spoke to, you see them on campus, stop them, introduce yourself, tell them how you're doing. Especially Bruce. Harass Bruce, stop him, chat with him, ask him all kinds of questions about residents. He loves his job and he loves to be with students. So take advantage of each and every one of us. We're really, really thrilled you're coming, and we understand anxieties, but it is going to be just fine. You're going to have a ball. You're going to have the most wonderful time. I'm so excited for you. I remember vividly stepping on a campus for the first time, and the excitement and the real anticipation. So Welcome aboard, everybody. And remember, stop us, talk to us. We're thrilled to have you here.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. Bye.
Thank you.